Salute, MobTube. How's everybody doing tonight? Um, I'm waiting for Jeff. I don't know where he is. I think he fell asleep. Uh, Listen, I planned on having. I'm sure you guys saw the title. I tried to change it, but it looks like it stayed the same. I planned on having on a guy named Damian Schreitz. Damian is a former MMA fighter. He's got 17 professional fights under his belt. He's also an actor. He's going to be in Witsack Mafia, and he's got a lot of interesting stories to tell, and a lot of stuff he wants to talk about. He was supposed to be on tonight at 9, but the fuck is wrong with my collar? But 5 minutes. But it didn't work out. There was a major storm where he lives, and he didn't seem to have an internet connection. So we're going to postpone that and probably do it tomorrow afternoon instead. But you guys should check that out because I think that's going to be good. I talked to him and he sounds like a really good guy. Let me say hi to some of you guys. Oh, listen, there's another thing. Hi, Marie. How are you? I was just talking to Shanna about you and your brother. Hey, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Cuban B, yes. Everybody hit the like button, please. Mind someone else's business. Uh, Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Mike Fleming, what's up? Craig Robertson. Carol. Jesse, K-Mac, everybody. How's everybody doing? Listen, um, the thing, I made a video earlier. I went off a little bit. I know that. But I'm going to try this again. And, I think there's an agreement. And I'm going to ask everybody to kind of work with me on this. I'm really not going to mention that name anymore unless something comes up, but I don't think anything will. So please, guys, you know the name I'm speaking of. If you guys can, I mean, you can talk about whatever you want in the comments, but I'm not going to bring up any comments with that name in it, and I'm not going to. Hi, Angel. How you doing? Glad to see you here. I am not going to uh, be speaking that name anymore, so I won't be bringing up any comments with that name in it. We're really gotta try to get away from that. So yeah, Angel, I texted him by the way. I didn't hear back. I don't know what's going on. But hi Angela, George Galleone, Stool Pigeons, Ken C. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Ken C. He says FBS, we are with you, bro. Jeff will be on any minute. We're gonna talk some mob stuff, bullshit around a little bit. Dandada, what's up, bro? Yeah, I should really be wearing glasses, guys, because then I'd actually be able to see these fucking comments. But the problem is, as you could tell, this is the problem. Lights and a computer screen uh, glaring off of my glasses. So that's the issue. And until I figure out a solution, I'm going to be blind. So mind someone else's business. Don't get stressed, Chris. Seriously, I know, and that's what I don't want to do anymore. You know what I mean? Sometimes stuff takes me out of my character, and I react uh, too quickly. I get a little angry, but I'm doing my best not to do that anymore. So. Marie Sorelli joined the Eyeglass Club FBS. Yeah, I know. I've worn glasses for a long time, especially for reading and stuff like that, driving. But like I said, it's not convenient in this situation. So, thank you, Miss Can't Be Wrong. She said it's okay, FBS. It happens. SJR Boston said I think that was perfect today. Wait a minute. FBS, you need to wear dark shades like Gianni A. Light. Yeah, well, then I'll really be blind. I don't know how he does that shit. Michael Smith, thank you for the super chat. First one of the night. I appreciate that. You want to go to war? We'll take you to war. Okay. Scarface. Michael McDonald said, FBS, are you an Eagles fan? You know, you're going to be surprised at this because I'm probably one of the only men in the world who isn't a football fan, but I never really got into football that much. I got to be honest. But if I was, that would most likely be my team. Vinny B, today you responded in true Sicilian fashion. Yeah, I know that that happens every now and then. Let's see. Tell me you're at least a Yankees fan. When I was a kid, absolutely. I went to a couple of games with my aunt, but I don't follow baseball anymore either. And you know, I like basketball. I'm a Golden State Warriors fan, but even the last 2 seasons of that, I haven't been following much. So, because even if I tried to follow sports, I don't even watch TV. So, you know, unfortunately, there's not a lot of that in my life. Who is this? Oh, shit. All right. This is a text I've been waiting for all day. When Jeff comes on, I might need him to take over for a minute because I actually really do need to answer this. Yes, Angel. It is. I'm glad to hear from him. So, yeah, guys, I want to talk about, we just want to do a show on some mob stuff tonight, but who knows? Listen, I trail off sometimes. We wind up talking about other shit. That's what happens. You know what I mean? A lot of mob stuff. I don't know if Jeff has anything specific in mind, but this is another show we didn't really plan. So I know I'll get better at doing that too. But, you know, we like to just come on here, and seems like you guys like it too. We always talk about good stuff and have fun. I do want to shout somebody out. And another thing I want to clear up. Last night we played a little video of Gotti Sr. on a prison tape, and he was kind of yelling at his grandson because he thought his grandson was, you know, getting kind of smart with him, and he thought his grandson said, you know, then I'll just be a crook. I was corrected on this, and it turns out that this was cleared up on those tapes too, but of course they wouldn't put that out there because they just want Gotti Sr. to look like a monster. But the little kid actually said, you know, fine, then I'll just be a cook. This is no lie, as far as I know. John Gotti Sr. took it the wrong way, and he yelled at him a little. But from what I was told, you know, later in those videos, they did clear that up, and you know, I'm sure there was an apology or something. But I just wanted to get that out of the way, and I wanted to shout somebody out. I got to look him up real quick. I think I know. I think it's the Mob Show. You know what? I don't want to shout it out just in case I get it wrong. So let me look it up first. There's a new show that I really like that I think you guys should check out. Yeah, the Mob Show Report, it's called. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this, but he actually had a really good idea. A lot of guys are taking these videos now, and, you know, like my videos, Jimmy Calandra's videos, you know, stuff, the other guys' videos, and they take bits and pieces and they do different things with them. Okay, sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not so cool. Hang on, Jeff, I'll bring you on in 1 second. But there's this one guy named The Mob Show Report. That's the name of his channel. You guys should really check out his channel and give him some subs. It's a new channel, but what he'll do, like what I saw this morning, is he took our show last night with me, Jeff, JC, Mob Rats Exposed, and he kind of broke it down into like a 4-minute segment, and like a 4-minute video, I should say, and he kind of rated everybody's performance. Yeah, A, B, C, D, yeah. He kind of rated everybody's performance, and he gave us each a grade and stuff, and, you know, he had some not so nice things to say about my performance, but I'm cool with constructive criticism. I agreed with some of the stuff he said, but it was really cool the way he did it, the way it was formatted and stuff. And I just wanted to give him a shout out because anybody who has a startup channel like that I like, I like to try to give them some help. So it's called the Mob Show Report. There is one other guy I'm a little upset about. One guy took. Hold on, let me bring Jeff on. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Sicilian. How are you?
Good. How the hell you doing tonight?
I'm good. I got a good announcement. If you'll let me plug something.
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but I urge all of you, everybody watching this right now. I just started a little partnership with Omerta Mia Clothing. Okay, I've got some shirts, some really great shirts. Defund police informants, stop glorifying rats T-shirt. I got an Omerta definition shirt. All sorts of cool stuff. They're the best in mob clothing. If you use my promo code SITDOWN20, you get 20% off right now. Go check that out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I know everybody has a partnership, but I got one too, so go get one.
I want the Stop Glorifying Rats T-shirt.
You should get it. It's great.
So, what I was saying is one of these guys, Jeff, I did a little shout out, and I want to talk about one of these guys.
Yeah.
One of these dudes who I'm pretty sure I spoke to him and I told him, it's cool to use like segments of the video or stuff. I don't care. But I got to be honest with you. If you're listening, I would actually like you to take this down. I wasn't real thrilled about this. He actually just took one of my videos in its entirety, the whole video, and just posted it on his channel.
What video was it?
I don't even remember. But why do that? Like, you can't just, you know what I mean? Like, that's different. He wasn't even talking over it. It was just my video on his channel.
Video? Yeah, I've seen people do that. It's not ideal. They're stealing your stuff,
That's all they're doing. Yeah. So if you're listening, that I would like you to take down. That's a little much. That's going a little too far. Because why watch my channel then?
Right. Exactly. They're just jocking your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are we at here, Jeff? What did you have in mind? I told them we're going to talk some mob stuff.
Yeah. So I was just
Could you do me a favor, Jeff?
Yeah.
I'm always louder than you. Can you turn up your mic a little bit?
Sure. How about now?
Much better.
Okay.
Is that better, guys? Do we sound about equal?
I might have hit it or something.
Let me see. Tell me what you guys think. Do me and Jeff sound about like we're at about the same volume?
Test.
Yep. All right.
Test.
All right. Sounds good. We got the same mic here, so it says Jeff's still a little low.
Test.
Yeah, that's better. That's why I should use headphones so I can.
Hello.
Tell Jeff. Can you tell about? All right. What were you going to talk about?
Yeah. So I was just going to bring up Tony Corallo, Tony Ducks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've been listening. I mentioned this book last night. It's one of my favorites. I think you mentioned it. You liked it as well. I'll tell you what, from a wiretap standpoint, there might not be a better gangster maybe outside of Gotti, a few others, but his wiretaps are hilarious. I mean, he's got some real good ones. I always enjoyed his rant about drug dealing and how we're not going to touch this cock-sucking shit. Anybody does it, kill them. But I was watching Fear City because I think I watched it when it first came out, and I do appreciate it a lot more because they do have some great wiretaps in there. A lot of good wiretap stuff, to be frank. I'm not too far from the mic. The mic's literally right under my face, bro.
Is it him that's too far from the mic or me? I think I'm loud.
I'm not moving the mic. It's right where it needs to be.
You do sound low. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This mic is, the best as far as I know.
Is it the gain on top that you got to turn up?
Test.
Yeah, you sound fine to me. I mean,
okay.
One of my the wiretaps I remember most and that I thought was funny was when Tony Ducks was talking about all these other guys wanting to make their sons get them made and bring them into the mob and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. He's got some good.
He was really good. I always love his quotes. He's a real interesting guy, and he's a guy that made a ton of money in unions and all the labor stuff. So, it's interesting because some bosses, like Joe Messino, he also wanted people to bring their sons in because that would then get them closer. And in turn, they'd be less likely to cooperate because you would first go after the son if the father, was going to cooperate or something, or whatever, vice versa. So, yeah, I always thought that was kind of an interesting way of doing things. I don't know. I mean, if I were in that life, I probably wouldn't want my son in it. I'd probably want them to go do something else. Like I know Carla Gambino. I mean, his kid went to college and all that sort of thing. But so did Franzese and all those guys, and they still found a way in it. During the 70s and 80s, it would have been hard to not be in it if your father was in it, right?
Yeah. And in case anybody doesn't know, like this is another, funny story about how that wiretap was, or bug, whatever you want to call it, was put in place to begin with. Basically, the FBI, started to realize that Tony Ducks would do all of his talking in his car, in this Jaguar that he loved. And that's where he would hold his meetings, basically, and talk to his people. So they did everything they could to get a wiretap or a bug into this car, and they couldn't figure out how to do it because Tony Ducks always had one of his guys watching the car at all times. And I forget which holiday it was. Which holiday was it, Jeff?
I don't remember. I remember what happened. Christmas. They had to install the mic and the bug, and then the guy went on vacation, and he came back, and the battery was fucked. So they were worried about the car going into the garage to get fixed, and that they discover the bug. So they pulled the tow truck over that had the truck, or the car, and then pulled the bug out, and then had to reinstall it to get all the listening on it. So it was, I forget what holiday it was. I don't remember offhand, but he was a really fascinating guy. He said a lot of shit on wiretap. I mean, if you're going to talk about Gotti or whoever, you got to talk about Corallo, man. He was on wiretap a lot as well.
Yeah, and they had practiced on an identical Jaguar.
Yes, they did.
They had practiced how to take everything apart, get the bug in there, put everything back together quickly. And on the night, if I remember this correctly, it was raining that night.
It was, yeah.
And they had to cover everything with plastic to make sure that they didn't get anything wet. Yeah, it's a really interesting story how they got that bug in the car.
Well, and they talked also before. Wow, is that true? Sarah Phillips, she lies a lot. Someone said something about Rudy Giuliani. I don't think it's true, though.
No, I just saw, you know what? I just saw when I was Googling something, there was something about Rudy Giuliani. So what does it say?
I don't see, CNN doesn't have that on. None of the news stations.
Oh, that's not true. Yeah, that's not. That's not true.
But did you ever see Sicilian, did you ever see the part when they had to bug the restaurant and the dog was in the restaurant? It was the Colombo family. There was like a dog.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they had to basically get a fire extinguisher out, and the dog eventually ran away. But they thought they would maybe have to tranquilize the dog or something. But they ended up getting the bug in.
Yeah, I remember the story. Yeah, listen, guys, you know what she's doing there? She does. I'm just gonna block her.
I've seen that person do that before.
Yeah, what they do is she'll do that to try to get people to leave the show and go turn on the news. You know what I mean? That's what they try to do. They don't want you to, they're helping somebody out. That they don't want people watching the show, so they'll try to get you guys. Rudy Giuliani was not found.
What a weird life.
Yeah, I know, stupid shit. But yeah, that's not true. So I have a feeling we'll get more stuff like that throughout the night. Just ignore it.
I've seen that person before, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, yeah, I believe I do remember the story with the dog.
Yeah, it was like a dog that would walk around the restaurant and stuff, and kind of part of the scene. And when they went into the club, they had to contend with this dog. So it was rough because the dog was huge, it was gigantic.
Yeah, the way they get a lot of these bugs into the homes and social clubs of these bosses is really fascinating sometimes, the things they have to do. And but they have blueprints, they have everything already ready to go. They know the entire layout of the apartment or the house or whatever it is, and they know exactly how to get in, how to get out, where they're going to put the bug. It's really crazy. It's something else. Remember the Sopranos episode?
Yeah, that was season 3, episode 1.
Yeah.
They had like everyone watching each family member. Baby Bing, Baby Bing was AJ, and all the different.
And they were playing "I'll Be Watching You," the song.
Yeah, it's a
while
great
all
song.
this was going on. Yeah, absolutely. That was a good choice.
Like Sting, I believe.
Yeah, that was when they thought they were going to get in, right? But then everybody rushed home because the water heater, is that what it was?
Yeah, the water heater. Yep. And then they ended up putting it in the lamp or whatever.
Yeah.
In the basement, and then Meadow ends up taking the lamp
to college with her.
The FBI's like, she's not taking that lamp, is she? And then they hear the lamp just like get picked up, and she like walks it away.
Yeah. Could you do me a favor? There was a text I was waiting on all day, very important, that I just got. Can you take over for a few minutes while I
Sure.
All right. I hate doing this, guys, but I really do need to answer this.
Jeff, can you please tell me about Fat Tony Salerno? Yeah, tell you whatever you want. I mean, he's probably my favorite gangster ever. So, he came up in Harlem, never left Harlem. Was a guy that, really, I find it hard to find anyone that made more money in the history of the mob than Tony Salerno. I mean, just no one really compares. No one, I think, with any sort of knowledge would say different. I mean, this is a guy that was making, the equivalent of like $300 million a year in the 60s. I mean, that's how big his numbers operation was, just his numbers. Then he would obviously eventually get into racketeering or union rackets and construction. He literally owned the 2 biggest concrete companies in New York, created the concrete club. And look, I think every other family would use him almost as he was basically the consigliere of everybody. He would solve issues. He would solve problems. I love Tony Salerno. He's my favorite mobster ever.
Yeah, and that concrete club was extremely profitable for all the families because they went well, with the exception of the Bonanno family. They were left out of the concrete club.
Yeah, I mean, you think about how much concrete was poured in the 70s, the 80s in New York City. I mean, every piece of construction, tons of concrete, yards of concrete. And it's all controlled by them, and that was just one racket Tony had. Tony had a gigantic numbers operation that he had since, he was with Mike Coppola back in the, 50s. So it's pretty incredible. He was he was a legend, and he had some great quotes as well on wiretaps. I mean, he knew a lot of people. He was powerful, and he got fucked in the end. He got 170 years, and he wasn't even the boss. He had no murders, no nothing, and he got screwed, really.
Yeah, he did.
Did anyone call him Fat Tony to his face? No. In fact, someone did one time, and they were, quote, reprimanded pretty badly.
Yeah, Tommy Agro says Greg Scarpa gave up this tip to FBI to bug Carr. I'll be honest, I never heard that.
I never did either. I didn't. I mean, they didn't mention, none of the agents mentioned that. Not that they would, but
yeah, I mean, it might be true. I just never heard that. Brandon Bell said, Senior told Chin he made his son, and Chin said, "I'm sorry to hear that." Yeah, that's true. That Gotti then figured out the insult, basically saying, "Well, if this life isn't good enough for our kids, then what the fuck are we doing?" Yeah, that's a little backwards thinking, I'll say.
Well, I mean, considering Chin's kid was in the mob, I mean, that's kind of a. I mean, I don't know if he just did it against the dad's wishes, but Andrew was in. He was very much doing stuff for the mob. So why wasn't Fat Tony the boss? Because the Genovese crime family had a front boss system that they had really since Genovese died in 1969, and it was something that they liked. It worked, and they kept it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these comments here, and I'm trying to figure out. Everybody's saying turn up the mic. I don't understand. Are they fucking with us, or is your mic?
It's just one guy saying it. There's no one else saying it. The mic is, listen, this mic right here is a good mic. Like, it could be far away and it still picks up. Now, the mic could be going bad, but it's literally right to my left.
Yeah, I just always sound so loud compared to you. I mean, I got the same same one.
Maybe I should put it in front of me. That might work better.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But I always seem louder than everybody who's on here, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah, the mic could be might be time to I've had it for a few years now.
Yeah. Michael Smith, 199. Thank you for the super chat. Your opinion, why was he never the boss?
We was never the boss because that's just how the Genovese crime family did things. Like I said, this wasn't the first time they did it. They did it for years, and it worked. It was a great way to push law enforcement off the scent, and it definitely worked for Chin. I mean, Chin was around several years after Fat Tony went away, so it was just something. And look, Tony had so much power anyway. I mean, he was kind of the voice in the commission. He made a ton of money. He had everything he wanted.
Yeah, the truth says you move around a lot, FBS. Absolutely, I know. I can't sit still. I've been that way for a long, long time. A lot of anxiety. I don't know why, but I'm like this no matter what. That's why I'm always moving or doing something. That's why I don't watch a lot of movies or TV and stuff. I get bored. I want to move on to the next thing. That's just the way I am. So I do move around a lot. I apologize for that.
You have ADD, you said, or ADHD?
I was never diagnosed with it, but I mean, I get distracted very easily.
Yeah.
I didn't used to be that way, but like I said, a lot of things changed about me after, all the abuse I did to myself. And now, yeah, it's I used to be able to, laser focus on things, but now I definitely get distracted very easily.
When I was a kid, I had ADHD really bad, and I took medication in high school and stuff, and I ended up taking it, stopped taking it because it just made me feel so bad. And as I got older, it just kind of went away. Knock on wood. Hopefully, it's gone. But
yeah, it's the opposite for me. I never had it as a kid or even as a young adult, but in my older years, yeah. That's why people like one of the guys I was talking about that is reviewing the shows now. He talked about how I was all over the place, and I'm like, yeah, probably I am. You know what I mean? Unless there's like a specific subject, we're really going deep into it. But if we're just like chatting, then I'll just hop from thing to thing. I do it all the time. Like I'll be having a conversation with my wife and it'll turn into something completely different.
That's why I like shows like this, because you can just kind of go into all sorts of different things. And this is how I do shows. Like if I do a sports betting show, like I just take questions, that's kind of the thing I like. Cause I like up here, I just kind of like to just rattle it off, so.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments about why don't you guys just pick a topic or talk about a family and just talk about that. And I'm sure we will do that from time to time. But right now we're just, we're just having fun doing it like this. And I think people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's, it allows, and I want, and I'm sure you'll make the chat aware, ask any questions that you might have, it kind of allows us to go in the right direction to what people want us to talk about. And we're not just kind of talking about stuff that maybe people don't want. So if you have a comment or question, you're welcome to ask here.
Well, I always wondered too, like when I would listen to, the old radio stuff like Stern and stuff, why dead in the middle of an interview, he would start taking phone calls. And that's a lot of the reason why, you know what I mean? Was to like, if there's nothing you can come up with at the minute to talk about, or if you just want to kind of change the subject a little bit, or if you've been on something for too long. So I like just talking to the commenters too. And
one of the reasons I don't really have a huge YouTube presence, at least for this for this genre, is I like to there was a thing on years ago that Twitter had called Periscope, where you could just turn this app on and just take live questions. It was really easy to use. So I would always use stuff like that. You got to get yourself a Twitter, man. That's a great way to kind of talk to people and get in touch with your fans. And, it's a good way to kind of build your empire.
Yeah, I'll work on that tomorrow. I got to get around to it. Somebody asked, K-Mac says he can't get them answered. Well, let's start over and see what we can do. And Tom Lochner says, FBS, I enjoy this format. Thank you, Tom. I hope everybody does. But you can't make everybody happy. So we got, if I can find it, all right, what was Karen Hill's involvement? That's actually an interesting question.
Well, I would have to say, I don't know exactly what her involvement is. I would have to imagine that it was pretty similar to what the film portrayed. She probably got involved in some of the drug distribution that Henry Hill was a part of. I don't think she was moving numbers and taking bets and stuff. There's only one or two instances where a wife was directly connected and did things. There was actually talk that Linda Scarpa, who was Greg's wife, was a bit involved in what they were doing. There's a couple, but I don't think Karen Hill had a huge involvement as far as I know.
No, Karen Hill, though, I'll tell you what, obviously she took part in the drug dealing. We know that for a fact. And she was involved to some extent with certain things. If you read the book Gangsters and Goodfellas, Henry Hill goes into not only was Karen involved, but her parents were involved a lot. Like Henry even said that in a lot of deals and different things that went on, Karen Hill's mother made more money on the deal than Henry did. So there was some involvement. I mean, a lot of people said Karen was the real gangster in that marriage.
Yeah.
So, see, she was a tough woman. She wasn't the sweetheart that she was portrayed to be in Goodfellas, from what I've read. But yeah, if you guys haven't read, it's kind of like the sequel to Wise Guys. I'm sorry, Gangsters and Goodfellas. That book kind of picks up where Wise Guys left off, and it talks about. And Wise Guys was obviously the book that Goodfellas was based off of. It talks about once he gets into witness protection, what it was like working with the marshals, being a witness protection, getting moved around constantly, stuff like that. I think that was the better of the two books, actually. And yeah, if you guys haven't checked that out, you should check out that book for sure. It talks a lot about Karen, her family, and how they were involved.
Well, I also will say Rusty Rastelli, who was the boss of the Bonanno crime family for a while, he did a lot of time in prison, but he was the boss for a good amount of time. His wife was actually somewhat involved with the mafia. She was involved with some things he was doing. She ended up being murdered, actually, at one point. But yeah, he had some involvement with her. I know Carmine Galanti at one point wanted to make his daughter. That was something that he had thrown around. He wanted to have her marry a mob guy, and he actually moved to have her made at one point, and it never ended up working out. But she's a great actress, by the way. Lorraine Bracco, the
Oh my God,
Karen Hill character, she's good,
fantastic in Goodfellas, The Sopranos, everything. Yeah, she's one of the best, I think.
I think she's in Witness of the Mob, I think, as well.
Witness to the Mob.
Yeah, Witness to the Mob. Yeah,
Yeah, she played. No, it was who played Diane Jackalone? Was that that was Jackie from Roseanne, wasn't it? That played Diane Jackalone.
It's been so long since I've seen
Prosecutor, I believe. But Lorraine Bracco might have been in it. Yeah,
and I think one of your commenters, I think he's right. I want to believe. I think Galante tried to hook up Alphonse Little Alley Boy Persico up with his daughter, who is Carmine's son. I believe you're right there. I think we went over that one time.
That I didn't know, and that's some questionable shit right there.
Well, Little Alley Boy, she had a crush on him, from what I understand, and Little Alley Boy is actually doing life right now. And we don't really know who the boss of the Colombo crime family is at this hour, but we have to wonder if it is Little Alley Boy.
Yeah. Ace Estero says, Jeff, a guess, what are the membership numbers of the 5 families right now? I know a little bit about that too.
Like total members? Wow. I don't know. I couldn't even guess, to be honest. I mean,
I know that the Bonanos and Colombos are the smallest. They're somewhere around 75 made guys each, they say.
I would say 600 to 800 maybe.
Altogether, probably.
Yeah.
Like I said, Colombo and Bonanno are about 75 each, they say. Now, that, of course, doesn't include associates. You figure every captain has a crew, and every made guy in that crew has maybe 10 associates. So, if it's 75 made guys, it could be 750 associates. You never know. But I believe I'm not sure about Lucchese, but Gambino and Genovese, I think, are around the same with about 200 made guys each. So you figure if the Lucchese's somewhere in there, yeah, it's probably.
Can you take Richie Rich's comment and put it on the screen?
Yeah, I was trying to get everybody's questions in, so I'll go back. Where was I at? Ace Estero. Richie Rich. This?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna play a little game here. Richie Rich, if I do that, you have to tip Sicilian $25.
Yes, and
I'm
I will give
serious.
you. I will
I'll
give
do it
you
right
half.
now. I'll do it right now. I'll plug it in right here.
Is that a deal, Richie Rich?
If you want, it's a deal. I mean, he could screw you, but I'll do it if he wants me to, and we can shut this up forever.
Maurice Orelli said Dominic Cefalo, by the way.
Chefaloo?
Yeah, I always say Cefalo.
Yeah. You just do super chats. You click the little dollar sign on the thing.
Or Cash App.
Yeah, you can Cash App Sicilian. I'll do it right now.
Yep, or Zelle. You pick.
And it's for Sicilian. He can have it. It's his channel.
Yeah, there you go, Richie Rich. You up for it? Jeff said he'll do it right now. Richie Rich
He's
said,
broke. Of course he is.
he said, I'll give 10. Oh, now he says I'm broke.
If you do 10, I'll do it. It's better than nothing.
And poor.
Is Dom rumored to be one of the hitters of the Uvas? Yes. Yes.
Michael Smith said Lucchese, I've heard, are closer to 100 to 110, according to John Panisi, at least if I'm not mistaken. That sounds about right from what I've read, yeah.
I would say each family probably has 100 to 125 each, probably. I would say 5 to 700.
I just read the numbers recently, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about the other 4, but Lucchese, that sounds about right. Richie Rich, he said, I will.
Okay, should I get it right now? I'll go right now and get my blow dryer.
All right, do it.
Okay.
That's $10, Richie. You got to you got to figure out how you want to do it. Oh, Boston J, I explained in the beginning. Damien had a power outage where he lives. There was a huge storm. He's got no Wi-Fi. He was going to try to do it from his cell in his car, but that wasn't working either. So we're doing it. We're doing that interview, but it's going to be tomorrow, probably in the afternoon, probably around 2. Don't hold me to it, but that's the plan so far. But I did have a plan on having Damien Trites on. It just didn't work out.
All right, here we go. Look,
he's got a nice fade in the back. You can see it's his hair.
Definitely my hair. Shit, it's broke.
Damn.
I need a new blow dryer. I've had this blow dryer for like 10 years.
See that? Richie Rich.
Send that $10, bitch.
Oh, shit.
You believe me yet, motherfucker? Look, I got a brush. Look. It's my hair. Fucking motherfuckers.
I saw.
Fuck up, bitch.
There you go. It's time to pay up. I saw somebody ask.
I just got my hair cut. I just literally got a shape up today.
Yeah, I can tell. I saw somebody ask where Carlos is. He's cool. He's all right. He just can't make it right now. Hold on.
Hey, Richie, pay up. I guarantee he's gonna screw you, man. Pay
I
up.
believe it. What the fuck is this? What does this mean? Louis Serdan. FBS, don't turn an up and coming channel into a joke channel. Oh, don't turn an up and coming channel into a joke channel.
Yeah, we can't have any fun, according to Louis. It's all business.
Yeah, Louis, go start a channel and
settle down, Louis. Have a little fun with yourself.
Don't turn an up and coming channel into a joke channel.
God forbid we have any fun, according to Louis.
All right, let me get back to where I was, and so I don't miss people's questions. If I can. Hold on, let me see. Richie Rich.
I never thought I would actually blow dry my hair live on YouTube.
Well, you have now.
Hey, Richie disappeared. He was out quicker than John Alate when he sees a made guy now.
You better be going to get a fucking credit card. Damn, I don't even know if I can get back up to where I was at. I'm gonna get yelled at for not getting people's questions in. All right, well, let's just take some more questions.
Well, Marie Sorelli says, "I think you're hot, Jeff." Thanks, Marie. Shout out to you.
How about that?
This guy says, "I wonder what you would do for a Klondike bar." Nothing. I don't eat chocolate anymore.
Look at this. Hold on, let me get to this. Oh, shit. Ali Shabar, I will pay for Richie. He's not a man now. He's running.
What a punk motherfucker for not paying.
Yeah, that's a shame. It says Richie tried to use an EBT card.
Yeah, he got denied. He only had $8. K-Max says Jeff's heart is with little Linda Scarpa. You're right about that.
Is that right, Jeff?
I like Linda. I would take. Listen, if Linda called me right now and said, "Listen, Jeff, next month we can go out for dinner. If you come to Brooklyn, I'd be in Brooklyn. Definitely."
There you go.
Shout out
Mickey Gregg said, "Shave it bald."
Hell no.
How much money for you to shave your head bald right now?
Legitimately, how much money would I want? $100,000
to shave your head bald.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Give me $12. I'll shave mine bald right now.
Well, what's something you like about yourself that you have to, have?
That's true, I guess.
You can't wear polo anymore. What are you going to wear?
For enough money, I'll figure out something else to wear.
Someone says Jeff looks like a young twin of Mark Wahlberg. I'll take that.
There is kind of sort of a resemblance. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
I mean, thanks. Someone says Paul Galino. I guess, yeah, if you want.
They said you look like Paul Galino?
No, someone says, can you tell us about Paul Galino?
Oh, yeah, let's do that, because I lost the spot where I was at. I'm sorry, guys. If I didn't get to your question, just repost it, because it looks like those comments are gone up to where
By the way, I'm going to just say this. I mentioned Little Linda Scarpa. I actually had a dream about her last night after we talked about her. I'm not kidding. It's weird. I don't know why we had a dream about her. But
what kind of dream, Jeff?
It was a good one. Not going to lie.
All right. Say no more.
So, yeah,
Paulie Galino, yeah.
So Paul Galino, yeah. So I mean, there's not a lot out there on his early life, but obviously he ran with the Bath Avenue crew. I think the first hit he committed, I believe, was Vincent Bickelman. Bickelman robbed Anthony Spiro's daughter. I think he robbed like a chain out of her bedroom, and he was obviously furious about it, and he was killed. Bickelman, he was a drug addict and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, he was a dangerous guy, and if you know anything about the Bath Avenue crew, I mean, he was the kind of the de facto leader of the crew. He was a hothead. Him and Tommy Reynolds. I think as far as the crew itself, there were, I believe, 7 guys. The ones that we know of, then Fabrizio Di Franzese, Anthony Gonzalez, William Galloway, and then Jimmy. But they did a lot of bad stuff. Sell drugs, rob banks.
Mikey Yamin.
Mike Yamin was a part of the crew. This guy Nicky Tuzio, he was involved as well. But Paul Galino was a hothead, man, a real hothead. And
believe it or not, because I used to be under the same assumption, but then Jimmy kind of filled us in. Before Vincent Bickelman, Tommy Karate had actually taken Paul Galino with him for kind of a drug deal he had set up, and they killed the guys. It was like 3 or 4 guys that they actually killed, and they took I think it was like 200 bricks of coke or heroin, something like that. So he did actually have a couple of murders under his belt before Vincent Bickelman. Not sure exactly how many of them he's responsible for killing, but he did kill a couple. And then he killed a guy named OJ. That might have been before Vincent Bickelman too. That was kind of like when they first, I believe, when they first started having beefs with the Bay Parkway kids and stuff like that. He killed a kid named OJ, and I don't remember if it was in retaliation for oh fuck, I can't remember the name right. Chestnut. It might have been in retaliation for Chestnut or before the Chestnut murder. But yeah, he's got Paulie Galino has a little bit of a body count. There's no doubt about it. He was a stone cold killer.
Definitely a good guy to be around if you want to learn about murder, Tommy Patera.
Well, yeah, that was his mentor. So that's definitely where he learned the trade. What else we got? Let me see. Yeah, I saw that. Sea Riders. No, not Sea Riders. Who said that? I don't want to mention the name, so fuck it. Joe Karate. This is what I heard too. I heard Tommy Reynolds was the toughest of them all. Now I don't know if that's after.
I mean, he'd be the one I fuck with the littlest amount. I wouldn't fuck with him. I wouldn't fuck with him over any of the other ones. He'd be the
Tommy Reynolds.
Yeah, I've always thought he was a lunatic as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have proof of that. As far as I know, directly, I believe he only killed 3 people. One, that was, as far as we know, by accident. But he killed Vincent DePippo and Neil Nastro also. He got out of the car and he blew their heads off in retaliation.
Didn't he jab a fork in someone's eye at one point?
Yeah, in the Vegas diner. Yeah, he stuck a fork right through the guy's eye. He was a brutal dude. Tommy, did you hear the story Jimmy told the other day about the guy that grabbed Tommy Reynolds' wife's ass?
No.
And him and Fabrizio went and found the guy on a corner, and Tommy hit him in the head with a crowbar, and they beat him damn near to death and put him in the hospital. And they said nobody even talked to Tommy Reynolds' wife after that. He was a bad dude, man. And he's the one, honestly, I've always said the most, out of that whole crew, I've always taken the most interest in Tommy Reynolds. But there's just not that much to find out about him.
And again, sometimes you write these guys, they don't respond. But I was considering writing him, see if he'd talk to me, but I don't know.
I thought about it too. Who knows? But, at least now we got Jimmy to tell us these stories.
I would imagine he wouldn't, just because he's getting out eventually. And, why? If he were doing life, I'm sure he would. But
he wouldn't have to talk about his crimes. He could just,
I think when you're that close, it's like, I don't want to fuck anything up. But he still has a lot of time. So
16 years, yeah. And who knows if he even wants to get out after all that time, to be honest.
Yeah,
the Owl Who's Who. FBS, I have an idea. What is your idea?
He said his idea. He wants Jimmy and Sammy to have a spelling bee or something. Or John A-Light and Jimmy.
Funny.
Richie Rich, he did it. Richie did it.
Where?
He said 25 too.
Oh, shit. Paul Mastretta, $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend.
It worked out for you because you got $10 out of the other guy. So you ended up making 35.
Richie Rich, I got to give it to you. You're a man of your word.
All right, no more fucking comments about my fucking hair, Sicilian. I just made you $35.
All right, that's fair. I appreciate that, Richie Rich. I'm glad you stuck to your word on that. You didn't welch on your bet.
Kevin, all right. Any good stories on Tony Salerno or Frank Costello? You want me to tell a story about Michael Franzese that he tells? It's a good one.
Sure.
So Michael was making a ton of money in the gas tax scheme, and Tony Salerno one day calls for Michael to go speak to him. So Michael gets the okay, goes over to Palma Boys and starts talking to Tony. He walks in. Tony's wearing the fedora, he's got the cigar going, and he goes, "Hey, Michael, are you making a lot of money with this gas tax scheme?" He goes, "Yeah, we're doing okay, Tony." He goes, "Well, listen, I got these 5 Mama Lukes here. They can't make 20 cents. He said, "Can you give them a job?" He said, "Yeah, I can give them a job. I give them a job working some of the gas stations, doing some things." He goes, "Well, good. What are they going to make?" And he said, "Well, I didn't want to disrespect him." He goes, "So I told them, we'll give him $1,500 a week, Tony." He goes, 1,500. He goes, listen, give me 1,000, give them 500. He
Yeah.
goes, we got a deal. So he made 5,000 right off the top.
And that's how they do a lot of those deals with stuff like that. They get workers for people and all that.
Yeah.
Anthony Magnolo, FBS, what neighborhood are you from? Originally, Glendale, Queens. Ed Canini says Andrew Reynolds was a good dude, funny as fuck. Yeah, that's what I heard. Like I said, I always wish there was more to read up on about Tommy Reynolds. But Yankees for life, I will, man. I forgot again. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's not that much to find out. But like I said, some of these stories we're getting from Jimmy kind of piece these things together for us. We start to learn more and more about all these guys.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy obviously knows it all. So I would, I think any Tommy question should go to him for sure.
Yeah, for real. Oh, and don't think I don't ask him from time to time. I'll be like, oh, yeah, by the way, how did this happen? I'm so glad that I can ask and get the answer from somebody who knows.
Someone says, what is Jeff looking at the ceiling? I have a TV above me.
All right, let's see some other questions here. Yeah, more about the Bath Avenue boys. Tommy Agro. That's interesting.
Someone's asking about Louis Ferrante. We talked about him before. He's a guy that I don't really talk too much about. He's got a new life now.
Yeah, I didn't find that much. He was an associate. He's got an interesting story. He was a tough guy. But I don't, I used to watch, he used to be on YouTube a lot, and I used to watch some of his stuff, but.
Someone's saying, what are you watching? I was watching preseason football. I just hit a bet. So I was hoping that came through, and it did.
Here you go, Jeff.
Thank you. Oh, that guy was talking shit on me last night. Well, shout out to him.
Was he really?
Love you, buddy. Does Jimmy ever bring up Paciello, Sicilian?
Just one time when we talked. Does he bring him up to me personally or on the show?
Ever.
Yeah, on the show he's talked about Paciello, and he's talked about the kind of guy he was, and some of the stuff that took place after the murder of the lady, and about how Paulie Galino actually wanted to kill Chris Paciello just to kind of make sure that Chris Paciello could never turn around and talk about that murder. But other than that, he doesn't talk about him too much. If you watch some of Jimmy's videos, though, you'll hear some stuff about Chris Paciello, and there's a couple of books. Like I said, the book, it was called Mob Over Miami. I think now it's called A Mob Story. My copy of it is called A Mob Story. That talks about Chris Paciello and his little nightclub empire and, his street stuff with the Bath Avenue crew and some other things. There's another book called Clubland that's about, some part of it is about Chris Paciello. There is an episode of a show called Vanity Fair Confidential. It's an episode called Disco Inferno, and it's about Chris Paciello, but it also centers around the murder that took place in Staten Island in 1993. And that's a really good episode. Now, when they talk about Mikey Amin, I'm still looking for a picture of this guy years later. It's the one guy who I have no idea what he looks like, and you're not going to find a picture of him. All they use on that show is like a sketch of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
what are your thoughts on Greg Scarpa working as a top echelon informant? Do you think he was actually useful to the FBI, or was he playing them? No, he was useful to them. He was an FBI informant since the 60s. And then he stopped for a while, and then Linda Vecchio, kind of grew him up again and brought him back. But he had been an informant for a long time, back before people ever informed. I mean, he's one of the first known informants. I mean, there weren't a lot around at that point. And the only reason he became one is because he got jammed up in truck hijacking. The truck hijacking was just getting started in the 60s, and they caught him up on that. But no, he was definitely moving, good info around.
Kev Catro. Kev KTRO. I'm not sure. $4.99. This is for the two on the screen right now who can pronounce words correctly, never flip flop issues, and can hold a real audience and not trolls. All right.
Someone's asking about Quack Quack Ruggiero. I saw a funny quote about Quack Quack. Sicilian, they said one time you could call any number in New York and there was a 50% chance Angie Ruggiero would answer.
Pick up. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great fucking quote about him.
He talked a lot, too much. The whole thing with his daughter's Barbie phone or princess phone, whatever it was, he would use that phone because he didn't think it was tapped. Yeah. But he was a serious gangster too. A lot of people forget, the role he had in that crew, in the Bergen crew. He was a serious guy.
A lot of people also don't know he was a backup shooter in the Castellano hit. He was actually stationed on, I believe, 2nd Avenue, and he didn't obviously have to hit anybody, but he had kind of gotten them out of there once it all happened. But yeah, I mean, Quack Quack was definitely a real guy, and he was very close to John. I mean, Junior will tell you that he called him an uncle. He was a close confidant of Gotti.
Did you ever hear the story about when John Jr. and a couple other guys were at a bar and they kind of lost the fight?
Yeah, he said you don't ever take a backward step.
Yeah, when Angelo came and got them. Yeah,
it's a great story actually.
Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense though. I mean, you can't have soft guys, around you.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about Long John Martorano. Yeah, Long John Martorano was big in the P2P meth business in Philadelphia. He did a lot of deals with a lot of different people. K&A Gang, the Boris Group, Junior Black Mafia. I mean, he was really connected to a lot of people. He was a big mobster for a long time. Never really went above soldier, but he had been around for a long time. He's part of the Scarfo crew. He's part of all the different crews. And he was actually there when Stevie Boris got killed at dinner in, I think it was 1981. He was killed actually in 2002. He was actually killed right in Center City, and it still hasn't been solved. But yeah, he's been around for a long time. Big drug dealer.
You want to answer about Vinny Palermo? I know next to nothing about Vinny Palermo.
Vinny Ocean is a rat.
Yeah, all I know is he's from Jersey, and
a lot of people
believe part of the DeCalvacanti family.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that he's also the basis for Tony Soprano, which is partly true, but he's also the basis behind Richard Biardo. He was actually we actually talked about him. He was directly involved with the murder of John D'Amato, who was a homosexual that was found out about. But he was also involved with the Fred Weiss killing, and he was actually the boss at one point. The DeCalvacanti crime family. He then entered witness protection. I think he lives down in Houston, as far as I know. That was the last thing I heard from him. But yeah, he's a rat. Interesting guy.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't get to this one, right? I believe not. Tom Lochner. Here is Richie Rich 25. Is this towards his 25 because he paid his?
Yeah, you didn't get quite 25 there, Tom.
Yeah, but thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the super chats tonight, guys. That's great. Tom Lochner, 1999. Oh, yes, he did.
There you go. See, everybody's coming to play tonight.
Tom, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Look at everybody looking out for me. These are good people. Look at this, John Stolberg, $5. Thank you, John. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. This is one I love, Johnny Keys Simone. What do you know about him, Jeff? Because, I mean, obviously there's the story, the story of his death and how it took place and, the way he went out. But, obviously he was a major figure in the Philadelphia family. And
yeah, he's a guy I don't know a ton about. I know he was Angelo Bruno's cousin. He was murdered. He's obviously been around for a while, but I don't know a ton about Johnny Simone. He wasn't a real important guy in the grand scheme of things, but I do know he was cousins to Angelo Bruno.
Thank you, Yankees for life. Yeah, and, the way he went out, the story of that, right? They sent Sammy.
Say that again?
They sent Sammy the Bull to take him out.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, they sent Sammy the Bull to take him out, and basically, he knew it was going to happen. They tried to pretend as if there's a chance they might let him live. Some phone calls were made. It was basically all a charade. But once he realized that this was it, he said, "Listen, my wife. I made a promise to my wife that I would die with my shoes off." So that's all he wanted from them, and he took it like a man. He didn't get out of the van and run, nothing like that. He got out. He walked a little ways. He took his shoes off, and Sammy killed him.
It's a good story, actually.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
asked about
He said he died like an absolute stand-up guy, like a wise guy through and through.
Yep. Well, yeah, and there's a lot of great ones like that. Benny Eggs Mangano, someone's asking about. Yeah, he was a big, close friend to Vincent Gigante. He'd been around since the 40s, really. Was very big into construction, Windows case he was involved in. Was big into rigging Windows contracts. At one point, I believe he was in the military. I think he served in World War II, as far as I know. He actually has a great quote. He was called when he was in prison in 1997. He was called to testify against Chen Gigante, and he refused, saying, "What do you want to do? Shoot me? Shoot me, but I'm not going to answer any questions." He later took the stand, but refused to answer any questions, invoking his Fifth Amendment rights. He was an interesting guy, Benny Eggs. The Genovese crime family was an interesting crime family in the history of the mob, I think.
I want to get to this real quick because this guy is right. But then you can answer about Sammy Gravano if you want. Oh shit, that's not the one. Somebody said
I'm actually doing a show on Mad Sam DeStefano pretty soon, so stay tuned.
somebody said Sammy didn't kill him. Sammy didn't shoot him. Yeah, and you're right. I can't remember exactly who it was. I kind of knew that when I said it.
Melito, maybe?
I wanted to backtrack. That's the only one I could think of is Melito. I don't know if that's right. But as soon as I said that, I was like, fuck, I knew better. But it is what it is. Can't turn back time. I figured somebody would correct me if I was wrong. But yeah, I don't remember. I think, it would have to be Melito, but I'm not sure.
Someone's saying, what do you think about Sammy? My true thoughts about Sammy are, I think as far as the group that's on YouTube, I don't think there's anyone close to Sammy Gravano as far as the kind of guy they were. Michael obviously made a lot of money, but Sammy was a real guy. He's one of the most important people in the mob in the late 80s. I mean, he made a lot of money. He was a dangerous guy. I've got nothing negative. I don't like what he did. I think his reasoning for it is bullshit. But I don't think you can knock him. He's a rat though, 100%, and he's probably one of the worst ever. So, he didn't want to go to prison, so he became a cooperator. Listen, there's only one rat in the history of rats that I agree with. One, just one. John Martirano. It's that simple. John Martirano was ratted on for 30 years. Found out Whitey Bulger was a rat. He became a witness. I don't have a problem with that. I don't. If you want to scorn me for it, go ahead. Did he kill people? Yes. And he'll admit that. He was a murderer. He lives with it every day.
Yes, several people corrected me. Michael McDonald, Christopher Drager. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, the old memory isn't what it used to be. But that definitely makes sense. Now tomorrow, Jeff. FBS doesn't know nothing about the Mafia. He doesn't know nothing. Did you hear what he said last night? Yeah, fuck off. I don't know who I was doing an impression of, by the way. I have no idea. It just seems
Someone's asking about DB.
Yeah, I saw that. DB.
Yeah, big into porn, big into adult businesses, big into softcore, all that stuff. There's, I always have a hard time talking about this just because it is a really weird thing to talk about. We had to kind of cross over it in the Roy DeMeo episode. There was talk at one point, and you can find this information, that the government was looking into Robert DiBernardo for do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm sorry, bro. I was paying attention to the comments.
No, what I was saying is DiBernardo was big into porn, and we dealt with this with Roy DeMeo a little bit. It's really a weird subject I have to talk about, but the government, from what I understand, and I don't think they ever got anything, but there was actually in the 70s a big problem with, you know, pornography with little children in it that was being
Yeah.
pushed around in New York. And I believe the FBI investigated DB for that. And I don't think anything was going on, but
Oh,
um,
that I'm not sure of.
yeah, I've read that in books and stuff. But it's you know, when you're in the porn business, there, you know, and Roy had, you know, there were some certain connections there. So I don't talk much about that stuff because it's obviously terrible. So, but yeah, there was a federal investigation into DiBernardo, as far as I know.
My man Christopher, thank you. Yeah, I don't know, but wasn't he part of the whole Deep Throat thing and all that, or one of the investors, something like that? I believe.
Well, Sonny Francis definitely was.
Yeah,
And I know DB had big connections in I believe the Walter Mondale campaign for president at one point. He was big into politics, as far as I know. I don't know about the Deep Throat thing. I think you're right, but I know Sonny was involved for sure.
I'm talking about porn, right?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know because you went into the politics thing.
Sorry, no. I know, no, I don't know exactly about that, but I do know. Yeah, I would have to imagine he was involved in the Deep Throat thing for sure.
Yeah, probably a lot of big investors in that, and like you said, they were all, all the ones that were involved in that industry at the time. I think had a part of that. And what was the big porn star at the time that was underage, that had been acting in porn movies for the longest time before people even realized that she was like 16 or 17 when she started?
Not sure.
What the fuck was her name? I can't remember. But that was in the 70s too. This is a good one. All right, let's see. What else we got? Loosely based. Linda Lovelace, yes.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, Tracy Lords. Wait, which one is it? Tracy Lords? Or is it the same goddamn person? Tracy Lords. Yeah, I think Tracy Lords is it.
Someone says, why do an episode on Bumpy Johnson? Yes.
Oh, you do?
I haven't yet, but we will. We got Frank Matthews and Bumpy Johnson. We'll do all of them.
Frank Matthews.
Frank Matthews is the king of drug dealers.
Yeah, Tracy Lords. There you go. Yeah,
look at that guy's name. That's funny.
Anthony Sparrow, Avian Crime
Family. That might be the best name I've seen.
You got to keep that one forever. That is.
Please keep that name. That's a very funny name. Avian Crime Family.
Oh, is this true? Emmanuel Spatero, DB was also doing business with the Menendez brothers' father.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he was very, very much around as far as I
know. Let's see. Oh, Linda Lovelace was Deep Throat. Linda, okay, got you. All right.
Someone asked, did Bumpy Johnson work with Vincent Gigante? Not that I know of.
Oh, because of that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't put any credibility. I don't give that show any credibility as far as stuff like that.
I mean, Chen Gigante, did you ever see the character that plays him? He looks nothing like him.
Yeah. Well, only in previews. I don't watch that show. Look, everybody's naming old pornos now and shit. All right, so mob questions, guys.
Settle down, J-Mo.
Jesus, look at this shit. And we are glad to have you and to speak of you, Sparrow.
I actually wanted to hit on this guy, this question Scotch Wrangler asked about.
All right.
Anthony Strollo. Yeah, we do a Q&A on my podcast, and we actually had a question about Anthony Strollo. He was around forever. I mean, he started off as a bootlegger in Prohibition, worked for Joe the Boss Masseria. Then he kind of moved on to the Luciano crime family. He was close with Lucky. Then eventually he met Vito Genovese, operated out of Greenwich Village. Eventually was really close with Vito Genovese, and actually disappeared after there was a theory that Anthony Strallo kind of fucked Vito Genovese on a drug deal. And Joe Valachi would say years later that Vito Genovese, according to him, told him that he killed Tony Strallo. So yeah, he was around a long time. Obviously a guy that did a lot of work in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. But again, I will keep saying, if you like the Mafia, the Genovese crime family is the family to start with. They are fascinating. So many interesting people in that group.
Absolutely. Richie Rich, I can't read this, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. What are we up to? 27 for Richie Rich? Not bad.
Shout out to you, Richie Rich, coming through.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
No, Sal Crooked. No, it's pronounced Strallo.
Oh, see that?
Sal Crook seems like one of those. He knows everything. I saw him earlier trying to tell us stuff. Settle down. We're just having some fun talks here.
Persicos. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Carmine is a gigantic snake. That's why they called him the snake. I mean, he was all about blood ties, and he fucked a lot of people. Definitely very interesting.
Anything on Lawrence Yogi Merlino? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't talk much about Joey. I don't talk much about his family either. But his brother obviously was in the mob as well, Chucky Merlino. And that was obviously Joey's uncle, Yogi. I mean, he was involved with the Scarfo family. They did a lot of stuff out of Atlantic City. There's not a lot known about Yogi, though. I don't talk much about the Merlinos, though.
Agreed. This is true. Giuliani says it was Bonanno's book that gave him the idea to use Rico. Assuming that's true, I believe it's true. Absolutely. Timing-wise and stuff, it makes sense. Brandon Bell, Johnny Keys asked him to take his shoes off and get killed by Made Man. You're right, I left that out. Louis Molino was the only one with the button at the time, and the reason about the shoes was to tell his wife it was mob business, not sneak. Very good, Brandon Bell, yeah. That's much more detailed than my answer. He is correct. Jerry Springer and the Jewish mob. This Michael McDonald, Sammy asked John if he could kill DB and had Old Man Peruta kill him. Then Sammy shut down DB's sick child porn action down.
It's not. I mean, I've never heard anyone talk about that, but I mean, it's not that hard to believe.
The Old Man Peruta thing is true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They kind of portrayed in the film, if you remember.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about Joe Butch Corallo. Yeah, so his father was a big mob guy back in the 1910s. He was a big Paul Castellano guy, and he definitely found a favor with Senior after Senior took over. I don't think he ever really respected some of the young guys, particularly Junior and Bobby Borriello and a lot of those guys. And that ended up kind of being the end for him. He was big into unions, big into housing authority business, that sort of thing. But he never really fell into the Gotti reign. He was more of a Castellano kind of guy.
I have no interest in the Russian mob, so I can't, but it's addressed to you anyway, Jeff. So, anything about them?
I know a little bit about Merit Balagula. We'll do a show on him. He was obviously the originator of the gas tax scheme. He's the actual creator of it. I know a little bit about Boris Nayfeld, who's on that ridiculous mob in Staten Island show or whatever it's called on MTV. Reznikov, I know a little bit about, but I don't talk much about Russian mafia stuff. But look up Balagula. He was interesting.
Yeah, I always pronounced it Marat Balagula.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Shit. Wait a minute. Mikey Ritz said, "Go to my question." How do I find Mikey Ritz's question? Let me see.
Anthony Sparrow says, "Did you ever see Robert DiBernardo's daughter?" No, I have not.
Hey, FBS and Jeff, do any of you know anything about this Anthony Luciano Raimondi guy? I'm so intrigued by him. I can't find anything on him on the internet, but he's got some wild-ass stories. I know that Stax interviews him from time to time. I feel like he just did interview him. Was that today? I mean, I know he did before, but I feel like he did again today or something.
Yeah, it's total bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I believe. I don't believe the Pope thing. But I don't know. Other than that, I honestly, before I saw the Stacks thing, I never heard of him.
Here's all you need to know, Ken. I've said this before on your channel. If you go to Google, okay, and you type in Benny Eggs Mangano, Vincent Giganti, Joe Corallo, anybody, you'll get something on them. This fucking guy, you're just gonna find books of his. There's nothing to back up his stories. Nothing. Did he maybe meet somebody? I don't know. But he wasn't a mobster.
Yeah. Let me go back down towards the bottom here.
The only thing I know about this Ramundi is he shot himself at one point, as far as I know, like by accident.
Is this true? Boardwalk Guy says Patrick Bet-David just announced he is having Sammy the Bull and Mike Franzese on his show for a sit-down. What's your thoughts? Is that true? Why wouldn't they just do it on one of their own shows?
Yeah, I don't know what the obsession with going on his shows are. He doesn't know much about the Mafia.
He doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't just do it together and make money out of it, but I don't know why you would involve him. But
listen, Patrick Bet-David, as many other interviews have, totally lost credibility as far as I'm concerned. Once he, interviewed A-Light and let him spew his horse shit all fucking day without, correcting him or asking for details or asking him a single tough question. So I couldn't care less about Patrick Bet-David. Not like he cares what I think, but I don't understand why they go on his show.
You should go on this show.
There you go. Imagine Fat Bald Sicilian hosts Sammy the Bull and Michael Franzese for the sit-down, which would be you, Jeff.
Yeah, someone's saying Patrick Bet-David pays big money for those interviews. I haven't heard that. I
wouldn't doubt it. I would. He's like
I've heard the opposite.
Oh, really?
I also heard Vlad doesn't pay much either.
I'll tell you one thing. I know Vlad that pays guys that aren't much, that much of a big deal, as far as things go.
I know who you're talking about.
He pays them a decent penny or offers it.
His name rhymes with booty.
Oh, well, that's not the one I was speaking of, but yeah, there's that one too. He does pay. People don't think Vlad pays for interviews. He absolutely pays for his interviews.
I actually like Vlad. I always have. I've watched his content for a long time, so I like Vlad.
He's all right. I like some of the guests he has, but not
he did
really.
Some real funny shit with you know who Arab is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he did some, like, the interviews he did with Arab are good, I think.
Yeah. Frank, I actually did email you back. Tomorrow, if it's cool, I will try to get a hold of you. If I got I think I do. Was Frank Sacco a made man? I have no idea, Jeff.
So what was the name?
Frank Sacco.
I'm not sure. I never heard of him.
Yeah, I never did either. Richie Rich said, I'm from Philly. Sean Laffey, thank you for the super chat. Patrick Bet-David paid Sammy like $150K for the first interview.
Wow.
Really?
I don't know how you would know that, but if
Yeah,
that's true, that's
I don't know.
Pretty incredible if true.
Yeah. Tato Orello.
I don't know much about Tato. I've heard the name. I don't know much about him. I know Sammy knows a lot about him. I would ask him.
Pretty Monita New York Queen says Vlad is a douche.
I don't get that. A lot of people I hear say that. I don't find him that annoying, but I guess I can understand probably.
He pays $10,000 an interview. I'm assuming he's talking about Vlad. I think it depends on who it is. I know certain people that have gotten anything ranging from 15 to $5,000, stuff like that. It depends.
I don't think he pays them that much.
Who, Vlad?
Yeah.
I believe that. Because I know what he'll pay $1,500 for. So there's certain people bigger than that person would have to get more money. You know what I mean?
I never understood people that call Vlad a rat. I never understood that. The people come on and talk. Like they don't have to answer. Arab would just sit there and just tell like exactly what he does, what he did. Like, don't say anything.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to get going. Unless there's any other questions that you guys have. I don't know if I'm going to stay on much longer. If there's any more questions anybody wants answered, post them now. Or I'm probably going to get going, try to crash a little early tonight. I've been going to bed way too late. Yankees for life. FBS, I seen your first interview at Stacks, and now look at you. Thank you, man. Yeah, I like to think I've progressed a little bit. But I love Stacks, man. I like doing shows with Stacks. Me and Stacks have a lot in common. We don't want to get into that shit, John Stolberg.
Yeah, we don't.
I saw part of it, Edward Everett. I didn't see the whole thing. But I love Armando Santi.
Can you talk about John Elite fixing the 1919 World Series?
That's great.
That is actually funny.
All right, guys. Yeah, I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up. So I want to thank Jeff for coming on. Jeff, do you have anything you want to shout out or anything you want to say?
No, I think I'm good to go. Appreciate you having me as always. Appreciate you, all you commenters. Yeah, thanks for checking the show out.
Yeah, thanks for all your questions because they help us out. You know what I mean? If we don't have something planned to talk about, we just kind of rely on you guys. So thanks for that. Thanks for everybody showing up. Thanks for the super chats. I love all you guys. Tomorrow in the afternoon, I plan on having The Omen.
The what?
Damian Trites. His fighting name was The Omen, I believe.
I see.
So I plan on having him on. He's going to talk about different stuff. He's going to talk about his acting career, Witsec Mafia, his fighting career. I think he has some stories to tell. So I'm looking forward to that. And I plan on us being able to do it around 2, but anything could change. So don't hold me to that. I will set up the show a couple of hours before we do it so you guys get some sort of notification. Good night, Marie.
Asking for my email real quick.
Buonanotte, Marie. Good night. Who is?
My email is thesitdown777@gmail.com. Thesitdown777@gmail.com.
Yep. And everybody knows mine already. So thanks again, guys. And I'll see you in the afternoon sometime tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon. If not, I think me and Shanna. Oh, that's another thing, guys. Well, I still have some of you here. Shanna did a video yesterday. I think it posted. It might have been this morning it posted. It's a good video. It's on New Beginnings with Shanna. I hope all you guys go check it out. Some of you already did, and her comments were turned off. That was an accident. So she turned her comments back on. If you want to comment on her video, please go check out her video. Hit like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Let's help Shanna out. I'd really like to get her numbers up. And that's it for the night, guys.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Yes, please hit the like button. And until tomorrow, salute.